Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where we're once again joined by the channel DJ, and we're once again in the Royal Borough of Inverbervie, which we walked to 12 miles. We walked, oh no, how far did we walk to come here? 12 miles?
Yeah.
One day we walked 12 miles recently to come here, but today we've started the adventure at Inverbervie, and today we're away to head up the coast. This is the little sign at the start. It's got some cool, like...
The railway was closed in the 60s, like.
Oh, aye.
The railway we walked.
Yeah. There's some cool old history here at this coastal town in Inverbervie, and just look at the weather here. The sea's just over here. That's the way we came for the last time, and we came for St Cyrus, John's Haven, Gourdon, all those little villages down that coast there. An absolutely incredible coastal area. And today we're on an adventure once again, folks, so stay tuned. Everything's so different, like the sea's calm and stuff today, and there's hardly any wind. Wow, blows my mind off and coming to a place like this.
As long as you're fishing for white fish, you don't need a permit.
Look at this, folks. We're once again here in this incredible landscape, and it blows my mind coming to the coast when I see stuff like this. This is like got so many pebbles on it, it's just mind blowing. Like, often these are washed in here in storms, and we can see that little military bunker that we went to the last time we came. Basically, in this video we're away to head on around the coast to new territory that we've never explored before, to find out if there's any cool abandoned historical wonders hidden within the wild coastline here. If we continue on further up the coast as well, but eventually we'd end up at like Stonehaven and places like that, but that's probably too far for like a day's walk. We're just out for a casual explore today, folks, because normally we've been going absolute miles recently, and yeah, it is crazy. Check the sun out up here. It's 7 degrees Celsius today, folks, so it's actually warm for this time of year. It's just fine temperature for exploring. Look at this, folks, we're just about as far around the coast now. It's where we ended up the last time we came up here. So we're just about into pastures new. But the cool thing is, this cave that we could see the last time, we ran into this cave to try and have a look before the wave came in. And you can see today how much further out the tide is. Look at this, folks, this is the cave that I was actually in. You can see how the sea's just eroded away here at the softer seams in the rock. It's created this crazy cave. But today it's a lot safer because the tide's not right at me like it was last week. Look at this, folks, it goes way back in here. I was saying how big it was the last time, but I'm not going right in. Wow. It's like a crazy forgotten land. I can see my breath in here. I think it goes back a good few meters, like probably like 30 or 40 meters back there. And it's crazy, this rock shelf up here, and look at the colour of that. Wow, folks, a crazy natural habitat we're in here. Coastal cave. Whoa, I'm slipping on the pebbles, folks. Pebbles is one of the most horrible things to try and walk on. Here's Channel DJ up here, folks. We've come the wrong way, look. Over the pebble minefield here. And look at this, the sea's ripping in this. I'll have to time it so I can get up here without getting wet feet. Look, the sea's right here though, and I can't get across. Look at this, folks, the real adventures on this channel. We'll always say it. I had to just go full send there, folks. Look at that, the sea's swirling below me. That bit I was just standing at. Well, like, we can hardly get round here.
What?
No way. No way. Well, we could get up there then. There's a way of climbing up.
I thought that.
I read the rocks here last week, folks.
Oh, so I can get down this way.
Right, I'm going to try and go up this way. I know where we are now though. From that last adventure, folks, I looked over here and I realised there's a way of climbing up. So it's key often to learn the terrain you explore. Because that way there is dangerous as well with the sea. Look, the sea must come up at this height often too, 'cause it's fully eroded. Crazy adventures, folks. It just shows you what we're actually dealing with. Look, there's that massive cave. Oh, it's not actually too big. We couldn't see it properly the last time. Check it out, folks. It's another one of these pebble kind of beach areas. And look, it's fully undermined there as well. Anyway, folks, look at this. This is my way up. This is where I looked over a couple of weeks ago. It's crazy vertical with that like big drop behind me, but it's not actually as bad as it looks, folks. No, I can bra like. Getting on fine, folks. Here we go. Boom. This is where we looked over, mate.
Yeah.
See something I just noticed though? This whole bit we are standing on is undermined. There's nothing underneath here. It's like a cave. Anyway, folks, we're about to continue on up the coast. Look at this here, folks. It's crazy because these rocks are full of like the pebbles and stuff, and it's like sandstone, top and bottom. And then look, there's this massive seam in the middle, which is crazy. Just imagine that. It's all like formed at some point at the centre of the earth or wherever. Big chunks like this are falling off. But it's crazy the way that every bit of rock here is like this with the pebbles, and then boom, there's a whole section there with none. But often with rocks like that, they're all like hardened at different temperatures and stuff, and it's like, that's how you get seams like that through the rock. And often it can tell a story of like the history of the land. For a volcanic period or a crazy period on the earth when all this was like molten rocks. It's just captured all the pebbles within it, and it is insane, folks. But you can clearly see the seam on that rock. That's how I thought it's worth showing it like. Anyway, folks, on with this adventure up the coast. It is crazy just finding little nuggets of history and stuff, and when you don't know what you're going to find around the corner, it's such an adventure. Look at this, folks, the massive like voids in the ground and stuff that's around here. It's absolutely crazy, like. And look at that, that's the view looking back down the coast. There's a massive ship on the horizon in the mist, and it's so cool. The wind's blowing here because we're at the top of the hill, but the landscape here is absolutely insane, folks. This is crazy, folks. We've come further up the coast now, and just check this out. This cliff here is so high that I can hardly even see the bottom. It's absolutely insane over there. Check it out. We're going to have to go into this field to walk up and go around there. The landscape here just looks absolutely wild and rugged, but massive fissures in the ground like that are just incredible. It was maybe like a sea cave or something at one time that like it just washed and washed out so much the ground above it eventually just dropped in. That's what often causes a lot of those coastal kind of bits in the land like that. Crazy, folks. Safe fence crossing there, folks. Check it out. We hope there's no bulls or something in this field. Look at the landscape. All that stuff's starting to flower now with the yellow flowers. That spiky as anything stuff. Looks like we might hit walk through it a wee bit. Yeah. We're literally just going where there's no path now, it looks like, folks. It's like typical sort of adventure we end up getting into these days. But just look at the landscape we're in. Crazy. At this time of year the sun's low in the sky there, so the shadows are always at a poor angle. But the landscape itself is just mind blowing. And this cliff here is just so dangerous. Look at this, folks. This is the top of that fissure in the land that we were looking over a minute ago. It's insane something like that can get worn into the landscape. Now we need to cross over this fence. There we go, folks. Carry on the adventure. It's crazy vertigo with that behind you. Just didn't think about it. Look at this, folks. The adventure is very much real once again. This mound over here, we're going to have a look at the other side of it to see if there's any like bunkers and stuff. Because on the map there's like a cove there. So I'm thinking maybe they were defending that cove in the war. And like, these spontaneous adventures are often the best things to go on. You never know what you're going to find. And like, the landscape and the territory we walk over is just crazy. There's so many like gorges up the side of the water where like little streams and stuff running off the land. But it's like, honestly, just about summer conditions today. The sun's shining and we were prepared for wintry conditions, so yeah, it's so hot. Look at this, folks, walking about in paradise right here. The landscape is just incredible out here. And look at this waterfall here. I don't know what I get in the frame of your picture there when I'm leaning over. Incredible waterfall here, folks, coming off the edge of that. And look down there. Crazy, folks. It's cool to see waterfalls and stuff coming off the edge of the land like that, just dropping into the North Sea. Down at this little cove. There's another cove though beyond here that we're going to have a look at, but looks like there's something washed up at the end of the beach down there, like a white thing. Could be. We can see like a massive crane away out on the horizon here, folks. I don't know if they're building like wind turbines and stuff. And then further up the Aberdeen direction we can see wind turbines there out in the middle of the North Sea. And then back down towards like Lunan Bay, Montrose direction and stuff, we can see a massive ship down there in the sea. I'm not sure what it's doing, but it's maybe some like oil rig or wind farm like related ships. Anyway, on with this adventure. It's crazy. The things that you see when you're on an adventure like this, the landscape itself is often just so incredible to see. Look at this, folks. I've come around the edge of this bit of land here because it's come off like as steep as anything cliff. And look, there's a bit of metal chapped into the ground up here. No way, there's an abandoned house over here, folks. This is crazy. We're going to have to go over here and have a look. It's an actual little abandoned house. The channel DJ's over here. Wow! Those bushes are so spiky and I just about grabbed them. I'm being careful here, folks, because there's a massive drop off. I was just wanting to analyse what we're dealing with. And I can see there's like an abandoned house with sheds and stuff. Crazy, but look at this. I don't trust it. It's dangerous ground. I really need to make my way up to the top of the hill here, folks. Real adventures right here, that's all I can say. Channel DJ's further along, so this is so steep. He's making his way up to the top. I was just wanting to check around the corner to see what was there. Right, folks, after getting lost on this hill here and getting covered in that black stuff off all the burnt, it's like they've been burning all the hag kind of stuff on the hill. But like, yeah, we've made it out of there and we're going to have a look at this abandoned house that we could see through the corner of the cliff, which is at the other side of this hill here. Look at this, folks, this is where we're going. This little cliff, no, it's not a cliff top house, it's a house at the bottom of the cliff. But it looks crazy for here. Totally knackered walking up all these hills though, folks. Like, it's unrelenting, crazy off-road terrain here. These paths will be carved out by sheep and stuff, making their way around the side of the land. Just check it out over there, folks, what a scene. Look at this down here, folks. I can't even believe, like, a little house like this just nestled in this little cove. And it's going to be such a cool place to go down and chill out there for a while after that extreme coastal walk. Look at this, it's like a secret cove with a little bit of abandoned history just hidden at the bottom of it. And that's what we love on this channel, folks. An adventure with some cool, like, history at the end of it. We can see what remains from the ancient house. It was probably a little fishing kind of community down here at one time. Or maybe just a little fishing family that had their own private little cove. And it's crazy it's abandoned. But it's so steep here on the ground, it's like an extreme walk. But it's also cool to keep finding new little bits like this, which are cool little spots to come to, even in the summer, and chill out. You could even come camping here probably, and imagine just looking out over that view at night. It's just incredible scenes today, folks, on the channel. Walking about in a Scottish postcard. But also we've been on a lot of deadly paths today which are super dangerous. So if you do come walking at the coast, folks, you need to have your wits about you. Look at this, folks, this grass on this hilltop is just super strange. When you stand on it, you just sink right into it. It's like walking about on, like, fur or something. It's the craziest thing. And then look at this, we're granted with this magical view of this incredible old abandoned house, and that shed as well. It's probably from a younger time in history. It won't be as old as the house, but it's still cool to see. It looks like the house has had a little, like, upstairs area. This is incredible, folks. Like, you can't express it on the camera, like the character of an old building like that, just abandoned in such an incredible scene. Like, all this landscape around it is just magical. There's even like a waterfall comes off the top of the hill up there. The way it just drops in, it's like incredible. And then look, all this has been ferns and stuff. You can see how old the house is with old stone construction. Probably like 1700s or older. And then this has been some building here made out of cement. Maybe like a little fishery hut or something like that. Look, there's a football. Check this out, folks. It's a little private beach here, just hidden from public view really. There's not a lot of members of the public coming around this way. Must be owned by a local farmer or a fisherman or something along those lines. Look, it's had a stove or a fireplace. And then check the size of some of these, like, fishing buoys and stuff like that. Old creel nets. Yeah, it's a shed of fishing history right here, folks. And it was probably somebody's, like, main business at one time. Look at the old wooden door frames. It's quite a crude construction. It's like they've used just cement they've made from the supplies they had, like the pebbles. Looks like there's a lot of pebbles within the cement of this place. So cool though, folks. It's always so cool to keep videoing like new abandoned places as well. This is a strange house. Oh look, there's the back of the fire. The way it sticks out, that's funny. But yeah, this is a strange house because it's like a one-sided button bang. Look at this, folks. The erosion on the front door of this place is just mad. Look at the way that stone is just worn away from the sea, the wild North Sea out there, pounding it. Maybe at one time they had fishing boats and stuff out the front here. Wow, what a cool little building. So it's had a little window as well, which must have been like an upstairs on like a second story. The cliffs are so high around the side of this cove, it's like it kind of blocks it from the worst of the winds and the crazy weathers. What can we see here, folks, at the fireplace? Look at this. There's like a metal bit sticking out there. Something must have been mounted on here. It's like big metal brackets right there. Yeah, I wonder if that was... I don't suppose it would have been. Like the floor height of the upstairs. It seems awful low though to me. Not unless this wee house was maybe used as like a shed or something at a later date. Wow. So cool to find this at the end of such a crazy like long walk around there. Again, to find a bit of history at the end of it for a time gone by. And check this out, folks, the old chimney going up. Look, the wall's so eroded out that you can see outside through it. That's probably for the heat of the fire. And then look at this stone here is so worn away as well. It's just paper thin. It shows the ancient, like how old this house is. It's ancient, like so many years have passed since that stone was put in that it's literally like disappeared. Yeah. And then look, here's an original bit of wood here for what must have been like a mantelpiece or something. Just think how long ago that was probably put in there. It's crazy. Aye, look. That must have been for maybe holding on like lath and plaster or something at one time. Because there's quite a lot of it. Oh, aye. Yeah, there's been like cement or putty around the edge of it. Crazy, like. Look at the stone, it's just crazy how it wears like that. Incredible scenes, folks, once again here. It's hard to know like what sort of rooms it had as well, like if it was an upstairs, where did the stairs and stuff go up? But it is strange they would have that up there if it wasn't an upstairs. So who knows, folks, you can see actually where the lintels and stuff's been into the stone there. So interesting, folks. And then look at this, where the door frame's been connected in. All the old markings on the stone, even with the erosion, you can just see a faint hint of the history which is like left behind, which is cool. You can just imagine the boy coming out his front door in the morning and away to do a day's fishing. But when you see the construction of this and then this other cement construction, you can tell they're from like different eras in time. I'll take a walk right around the outside perimeter of this and just see what I see. Look, there's more of these massive nails. They maybe used to hang like fishing nets or something and stuff like that. Look at this, folks, just think at one time there was like an ancient roof on the top of there. Oh aye, that must have been like the edge of a roof or something at one time, eh? This is the back of the firewall here where that was, again, the fire has damaged those rocks. Yeah, they must have had a wee shed or something. Yeah, these nails seem to be all the way around. It is interesting though, folks. The character of that just nestled in here though, that's what makes a place like this. Again, at one time you would have come along the top and you would have seen the smoke coming out the chimney, and again, the family would have been content down here probably fishing and just getting by on what they had. And one day it was all just abandoned and left. Yeah, that way of life is just over now for fishing and stuff like that. The land around here is just mega as well, with these cliffs and the way this cove is. It's just mind-blowing scenery, folks. crazy landscape. Just look at that for an abandoned Seinfeld, folks. Incredible. That's what we love to find on this channel. It's like a little house with like a story for like a bit of Scottish history, a little community or a little family down here, just in a crazy bit of land here that I've never seen before in my life. The way the waves are just rolling off the sea here, it's a magical location. It's insane. And just check it out, one day that'll just be a pile of rubble. Insane, folks. The channel DJ is shouting on us, folks, so there must be more abandoned history over this hill here. I was just taking in all the details of the history here. He's pushed on up ahead here to find some new artifacts of abandoned history, folks. That's what we love to find here. And it's crazy that so much is often like abandoned, and what you would think is like the middle of nowhere or like wild bit of coast, it's often got so much to show. So much hidden history, folks, just buried and forgotten, almost lost forever. Look at this, folks. Massive piece of driftwood it is down here that he's found. This is crazy. So look at this, folks. Is this the remains of an old shipwreck that we've just found here on the rocks? It looks like parts of an old pirate ship or something. It's probably just big chunks of driftwood that's come from somewhere, but look at that. Crazy, folks. Look at the size of these bits. Yeah, if anybody knows about ancient timber construction, folks, get in the comments. Like, if you recognise what these items are. Whoa, I nearly fell, folks. Look at that, there's a big D-shackle on it. Here, this could have been beside the water at one time for them tying their ships to. This could have been...
joined together, eh? They're not coming apart.
See what I think? This has actually been mounted on the ground before the ground got washed away. Somewhere. Look at this, folks, there's loads of shells and stuff underfoot. It's like rock pools. But look at this is crazy history right here, folks. I'm guessing this must have been near the coast somewhere. I don't know if it would have been exactly here, but it's been washed away in a storm. Look at the size of those big day shackles right there, folks. Crazy. They would have probably come in and tied their ship up to the dock. Wonder like when those bolts were screwed in there, and just think how old that is. Even this wood here, folks, it's got so much, like, raises so many questions. Where did it come from? It looks like around that cove at the edge of those cliffs, it's like massive, like, caves potentially even, who would know, folks? Incredible. So are these the timbers from an ancient shipwreck, folks? We will never know. But it is interesting to find stuff like that at the coast and just ask the question, where does it come from? And it's a pretty wild landscape, eh? You can just imagine the sea would take something like that away, no problem. And all that could have just been flying in here. That's how you wouldn't want to stand too near the big waves. Could be whole trees flying in on them. There we go, folks. So behind us is the cove of the ancient fishing community. And look, this could be an old track coming down to there. Maybe no either. Look at this, folks, we're now leaving this majestic scene behind in this little cove and we're heading up to the side of this field. We're going to continue our adventure back. Look at this now, folks. We're now making our way back up the coast, and this is a crazy route we've taken. We've come the wrong side of these bushes, so we're just looking for a path somehow to get back down to that bit of the field. But I just thought I would update the video because we've walked quite far, but we're in this extreme situation now of survival inside these spiky bushes. Look at that, folks. Every one of those is a little spike. It's like natural barbed wire. I'm thinking once you get past this bush here, though, look, there's a way down.
Yeah.
You got a route? Look at this, folks. There's this mystical like looking hill at the back of here, which looks like it's that rock with the pebbles through it. But it's a crazy big hill overlooking the bay of Inverbervie here. The wind's blowing now that we're out in the open, but the landscape is just mind-blowing. We've walked a different route on the way back here to what we came, because it was extreme, crossing all those ditches and stuff on the way through. It was a crazy, crazy walk. Look at this, folks. On this windy bit of land here, you can see that's the cave we went in earlier on in the video. We walked right round here, and look how high the tide is now. It's come up like meters. That's where we climbed up, around there. But it's so cool just to see the difference now with the water in here. There you go, folks. Crazy scenes once again here on the coast. Now we're round the corner of Inverbervie. There's a bit more of a wind than what there was earlier on. Oh aye, there's some mad currents there. Just think, underneath our feet here there's like a cave. It could just cave in at any point, folks. Look at it, the waves are ripping into this. This is a cool little cove, this. If you remember the last coastal adventure at Inverbervie here, we found the base of an old house there abandoned on that bit of land, which was a cool bit of history. But yeah, it just shows there's always so much more new stuff to find on the coast, folks, like that little house. Even that wood which had washed ashore up there, that could have been parts of an old ship or anything, an old coastal bit of history, folks. Wow, check the way this landscape is here. Look at this, folks. We've made it back round to the cove here at Inverbervie. Just check the scene out. The tide's quite far in now and we're lucky that we can get round. From back there it looked like we might be snookered, but we're okay. I think the tide does come right up to this height here, like. Yeah. Or we would have to go over to the top of the hill. The seagulls are just circling here, like. This area here at Inverbervie is like a haven of nature. So many beasts flying about. And earlier on it was like a little stream going out there. Now the tide's so high, it's just a level estuary of water here. Yeah, last time we were here the water was pure brown and thick. Well, it looked that way, but it must have been because there was storms up the glens or something, because today the water's crystal clear. Wow, what a scene looking over Inverbervie. It is a cool place, like, it's got a lot of like good landscape and stuff around it, and it's been cool to explore around here. Once we walked up here a few weeks ago, we were curious to see what was like further around the coast. It's always interesting what you find, folks. New landscape, undiscovered, never seen before on the channel. But yeah, we'll keep the adventure going. Next time we'll have to go further north. Maybe one time in the future we'll be right around the whole of Scotland. Look at this, folks. This is majestic here with the wee ducks swimming about and going upside down in the water and everything. What is it doing? They're going fully upside down there. He must be getting his tea, finding something to eat. There's so many seagulls here swarming up in the sky. The water's clear today though. The last time we were here it was so brown. The difference here is so noticeable. It's crazy the way the water does just flow around into that estuary bit and then away. These ducks are just living the dream. As we found out in that Inverbervie video we did a few weeks ago, this bridge was built in 1936. That's how it's got these stylish railings on it, of 30s design.
Holes in here today because all of them.
Oh, they've got holes in them.
Yeah.
They're maybe repurposed for something else. There's the massive viaducts too, folks, that if you want to see, go back and watch, what's it called? Epic Adventures of a Scottish Explorer. 1.5 hour long epic adventure, folks. Features those. But once again today, it's been an epic adventure. We've not seen crazy amounts of history, but the stuff we have seen has been amazing. Like that little hidden cove and stuff. Amazing scenes, folks. This is like a caravan park and stuff here, but it must be off season just now or something. Look at this, folks, we've made it back round to these pebbles at the far side, and these World War II historic anti-invasion tank traps. And then check this view that we're greeted with at the top of this pebble mountain. Wow. Yeah, I think that's the tip of one right there. Strange that they're so high here and then so low there, but it might be, some of these pebbles might build up here because these tank traps are here.
There was a wall at one point that joined up to here.
Maybe. Yeah, these might have just been a full circuit. Maybe. Yeah, those ones could have come from anywhere, because the ones up the side wouldn't have likely have been there. But that used to be the salmon fishing station there till 1986. And that ice house there was for the ice, for storing the fish, so those bollards must have been maybe moved by the folks that had the salmon fishery right there, folks, at Inverbervie. And also at one time there used to be another military bunker at the other end of this place. When the train came in, it used to go past another World War II bunker the same as that, with a row of tank traps. It was like symmetrical at one time at each side of this. But then at one time, I'm not sure if it was coastal erosion that did away with it, or literally if it just got knocked down. Maybe this house is where it was now or something, I'm not even sure. So once again, folks, it's been a crazy adventure here at Inverbervie, and it is a cool little town. Definitely worth a visit if anybody's ever on holiday at the east coast of Scotland. Some of those walks we go on are really extreme, so like getting to that house and stuff, you hate your wits about you, and certain times of year it wouldn't be accessible because of like the amount of overgrowth and stuff with the long grass and the shrubs, and also sometimes the farmer will have crops in some of those fields.
One seagull's on top of the other one.
Oh aye, the seagull was standing on the other one's back. Wow. That's rare footage right there, folks, for the ending of this video. So we've made it back to the car park. Look at that camper van. Like, some people out here are just living the dream, folks. Camping here with the magic sunset and that view out over the North Sea. Crazy. Once again, it's been a crazy adventure here. The Royal Borough of Inverbervie. We've seen so much. But yeah, I'll end it here. What have we seen in this video? We've seen that it could be potentially the shipwreck of a pirate ship, which is just wood on the coast basically, and then that house. Cool artifacts of history, folks. And the adventure to get all that stuff is amazing. But anyway, I'll end it here. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you very soon in the next one.